again. Whoa! Whoa! Say one more goddamn time. Goddamn time.
What is going on, my fellow nerds and geeks? Welcome back to NerdSplosion, the weekly podcast where, based on a monthly topic, I nerd out about whatever the hell I want. It's me, another white guy with a podcast. How you guys doing out there? Doing good? Staying positive? I really hope whatever you're doing, it's positive and it's bettering you. Today's episode, I want to introduce the topic for the month of March, and I'm choosing to do it on Pokemon. Now, I already tweeted out about this, so if you don't follow me on Twitter, I mean, if you want to, go ahead. I mean, I know Twitter is a dumpster fire, but consider me the king of trash. But yeah, I wanted to cover Pokemon because, one, it's been something I wanted to talk about for a long time, and two, we just had Pokemon Legends Arceus, or Arceus, if you prefer it that way. We just had that come out recently, and later this year, we have Pokemon Violet and Scarlet coming out. I'll talk about that a little later in the episode, but I figured just with all that hype around it, what better time to talk about Pokemon? In this episode, I kind of want to do like an introduction to Pokemon. So for those of you that don't know what Pokemon is, because I mean, I know a lot of people who listen to my stuff, they know what Pokemon is, but just, you know, for that odd listener that may or may not know exactly what Pokemon is, and why I think they should get into them. But before we get into all of that, I gotta remind you guys that new episodes of this podcast come out every Saturday, so make sure whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on, you know, you're liking, you're favoriting, you're saving, you're doing whatever to show that you actually support this podcast. And, you know, leave me a little review, whether it's 5 stars saying like, wow, Cameron, you're amazing, or it's a 1 star, be like, wow, Cameron, you suck, I can't believe you're doing this for a living. But yeah, just whatever you're feeling, just leave me a little review. And also, video versions come out on Saturday, and hopefully the video version of this episode actually does well, because I know Nintendo is probably aiming a knife at my throat by just talking about Pokemon. But yeah, video versions come out every Saturday as well on my YouTube, SuperCam64. So go check out the audio version on whatever you're listening to this to, and the video version on my YouTube. But with that out of the way, let's stock up on our Master Balls and our full restores, because we're about to dive into the world of Pokemon. I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause. Pokemon! A lot of people know it. You know, most of the world knows it. I mean, you can't escape Pokemon. It's literally everywhere. Even just that theme song I just sang for you, almost everybody knows that theme song. But for those of you that may not know exactly what Pokemon is, let's dive into a little history lesson, shall we? So, Pokemon was created by Satoshi Tajiri with assistance from Ken Sugimori. The first games, Pocket Monsters Red and Green, was released in 1996 for the Game Boy in Japan, and it was later released outside of Japan as Red and Blue. The most recent game in the core series, which is all the colored games, is Pokemon Legends Arceus, or Arceus, which was released on January 28th of this year, 2022. It was released for the Switch. Pokemon is also estimated to be the largest media franchise with successful anime series, movies, and merchandise, and with spin-off game Pokemon Go having crossed 1 billion mobile game downloads worldwide. By November 24th, 2017, more than 300 million Pokemon games have been sold worldwide on handheld and home consoles, across 76 titles including spin-offs. As of March 2021, the series has sold over 380 million units worldwide. This makes Pokemon the 4th best-selling video game franchise, behind Nintendo's own Mario franchise, the Tetris series, and Call of Duty. Now, honestly, I'm not surprised to beat out Call of Duty. I mean, Call of Duty is great and all. I can see why a lot of people enjoy it. I just don't get it. It's just not my thing. And it has one of the most toxic game communities that I know of today. But we're not talking about Call of Duty. We're talking about Pokemon. Now, as kind of like a beginner's guide to Pokemon, like basically what it is, each game, you're a trainer. You start off in your hometown. Your mom is like, hey, go catch some Pokemon. I'll see you later. Yeah, whatever. Go talk to the weird old man. He'll give you a Pokemon, and then you can leave me for who knows how long. But that's that's basically each of the games, at least in the core series. From Red and Blue all the way up to the most recent Legends Arceus. You basically, well, I think Pokemon Legends Arceus might be a little different in that. I have not played it yet, so I have no idea how it goes. But for most of the games, you're just this kid. You start off in your hometown. You go to whatever professor is in your hometown. It's either you go to the lab or you go slightly into the wild after you talk to somebody, and they're like, oh, I'm being attacked by a wild Pokemon. Quick, take one out of my bag and fight it off for me because I'm too incapable of fighting this little furry monster myself. I swear, a lot of these professors are useless. But like I said, in each region, you get to choose between one of 3 starter Pokemon, sometimes even multiple. Starting with the Kanto region, Professor Oak gave you the choice between Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. Now, of those 3, I always chose Charmander because I've always liked to start with a fire Pokemon. And it's okay to choose Bulbasaur. I know it was a joke for a while that people were like, oh, if my baby chooses Bulbasaur, then that's not my child. Bulbasaur is a very valid option. Not only does he evolve into Venusaur, he's pretty powerful on its own, but Bulbasaur is also a grass poison type, whereas Charmander's just fire and water is just... Or Charmander's just fire and Squirtle is just water. Bulbasaur is both grass and poison. Now, if you have Pokemon Yellow... Now, Pokemon Yellow takes place in the Kanto region too. Pokemon Yellow, they based it strictly off the anime. So basically, you were Ash in that game. You can name yourself whatever you want, but basically you were Ash. Because Professor Oak did not give you a choice between Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. He'd straight up just give you a Pikachu right from the start. And what was cool about Pokemon Yellow, from what I remember, is that along your travels, Pikachu actually followed behind you, and you had to turn around and see what his emotion was, whether he was happy, angry, or feeling sick because he got poisoned in a recent battle. But Pokemon Yellow was really fun, from what I remember. But kind of in that same vein, so you started with a Pikachu in that, and your rival got an Eevee in Pokemon Yellow. But if you were playing like Pokemon Red, Green, Blue, or Fire Red, with the choice of Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, whatever you chose, your rival would always choose the one that's effective against you. Like if you chose Charmander, your rival chose Squirtle. If you chose Bulbasaur, your rival chose Charmander. So on and so forth, because your rival was a dick. But kind of moving on, sticking with the Kanto region. Now, there were games called Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, which were basically kind of remakes of Pokemon, more so Pokemon Yellow than Pokemon like Red and Blue and all that, because it took place all in the same region, but depending on which one you got, you started off with either Pikachu or Eevee. Now, if I get a chance to pick up either of those, I'll probably go for Let's Go Eevee, just because Eevee is one of my favorite Pokemon, because Eevee can evolve into so many different things, including 2 of my favorite evolutions, Umbreon and Espeon. But anyways, moving on to the Johto region. Now, the Johto region was like games like Pokemon Gold, Silver, Crystal, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver. Professor Elm gave you a choice between a Chikorita, Cyndaquil, and Totodile. Now, I have fond memories of Pokemon Gold. I actually remember, I might cover this in a later episode too, so forgive me if I end up repeating myself, but Pokemon Gold was just it's like a core memory for me. Like, all the music in it is so memorable. Like, when I think classic Pokemon games, I think of Pokemon Gold. But yeah, you got a choice between Chikorita, Cyndaquil, and Totodile. Now, I think I went with Totodile for the longest time because I was like, ooh, Crocodile, my favorite. But then again, I switched over to Cyndaquil because obviously I like fire. And I guess in Heart Gold and Soul Silver only, your rival didn't get what you didn't pick. They got a Marill instead. Moving on to the Hoenn region. Now, the Hoenn region is Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Omega Ruby, and Alpha Sapphire. After Professor Birch is rescued from a Poochyena or a Zigzagoon, he allows the player to keep the Pokemon they choose to rescue him with the choice between Trico, Torchic, or Now, of those three, obviously, I chose Torchic because Torchic eventually evolves into Blaziken, and Blaziken actually looks pretty badass. In those games, your rival Wally started out with a Ralts, which eventually evolves into Gardevoir, which is another one of my favorite Pokemon for reasons. Don't worry about it. Shut up.
You're the one that's furry.
But anyway, so moving on to the Sinnoh region, which, fun fact that I actually just learned the other day, the newest game, Pokemon Legends Arceus, takes place in the Hisui region. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but that's how I'm going to say it. Or Hisui, I should say. And the Hisui region eventually evolves into the Sinnoh region because Pokemon Legends Arceus takes place like years before a bunch of other stuff happened. So the region that you play in Pokemon Legends Arceus eventually becomes the Sinnoh region. But before that, the Sinnoh region took place in games like Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Brilliant Diamond, and Shiny Pearl. Now, Brilliant Diamond, I actually just started playing a while ago, and I've already beaten the Pokemon League in it, and now I just gotta complete the Pokédex and do all that stuff. But in those games, in the Sinnoh region, when two Starly attacked the player and rival at Lake Viridi, to which they travel upon, hearing reports of a red Gyarados, they will choose between Tortwig, Chimchar, or Piplup from Professor Rowan's briefcase, which he left at the lake. Now, out of those, I chose Chimchar, but I might do another playthrough of Brilliant Diamond and choose Piplup, just because I like Piplup. Moving on to Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now, in Pokemon Legends Arceus, apparently you got to choose between starters too, which something that surprised me because Pokemon Legends Arceus basically was like, hey, let's take Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but make it Pokemon. Reading from this thing, the player is able to choose from 3 starter Pokemon found by a Pokemon professor traveling throughout regions, each originating from a different previous installment in the mainline Pokemon games. These Pokemon are Rowlet from the Alola region, Cyndaquil from the Johto region, and Oshawott from the Unova region, so basically it's a mixed match of different regions. Unova starters, which is Pokemon Black and White, Professor Juniper leaves a gift with the player's mom in New Vema Town to give to them, containing Snivy, Tepig, or Oshawott. I didn't play Black or White, but out of all of those, I probably would go for Oshawott. I know, kind of differing from the fire type thing, but honestly, Oshawott's kind of adorable. Or Snivy, just because he looks smart as all hell, and he's adorable. Now, moving on to the Talos region. Now, Talos region was Pokemon X and Y. The player, Shauna and Serena / Callum, received their starter Pokemon, Chespin, Fennekin, and Froakie, in Aquacore Town from Terrano, who is asked by Professor Sycamore to deliver them. Now, I think Terrano was a friend of yours. It's been a while since I played the game, so I can't really tell you who that is. But either way, you got to choose between Chespin, Fennekin, and Froakie. Now, I think for that one, I did a couple of playthroughs. I did one with Fennekin and one with Froakie, because Froakie actually evolves into Greninja, and I forgot what Fennekin eventually evolves into. Moving on to the Alola region. Now, Alola is Pokemon Sun and Moon, and you got a choice between Rowlet, Litten, and Popplio. Now, out of those, I would probably, because I didn't play Sun or Moon, but out of those, I would probably choose Litten, because I think Litten eventually evolves into Incineroar, and as we all know, he's the best player in Smash Bros. Ultimate, and I will fight anybody right now that disagrees with me. 1v1 me, scrub, I dare ya. Moving on to the Galar region, which is Pokemon Sword and Shield. You got a choice between Groti, who's kind of a monkey, Storbunny, who's obviously a bunny, and Sabo, who is a tadpole? I don't really know what Sabo is supposed to be, but it confuses the hell out of me. And then very last on this list, actually, we have the starters for the upcoming games, Scarlet and Violet, which consist of the grass type Sprigatito, the fire type Fuecoco, and the water type Quaxley. Now, there's a huge debate about Fuecoco because he looks like a crocodile, but he's also red with like little yellow hairs on top. And a lot of people say he looks like an apple, but his shape tells me pepper. And the fact that his face kind of looks like a skull makes me think he's a ghost pepper. Because I believe he's a fire ghost type. But out of all those, I'll probably choose Sprigatito. Because, one, it sounds Spanish as fuck. And it's also adorable. It's a cat. Either that or Quaxley. Because Quaxley, he's a duck. Look at his little duck body. I know you guys can't see it, but seriously, look him up. Quaxley is adorable. They're all adorable, and I can't wait to see what their evolutions are, I should say. I guess one thing I should say, if you're looking to get into the Pokemon games, here are some tips that might help you out if you're looking to get into the Pokemon games. Definitely invest your money into healing and status healing items, like to heal your Pokemon and all stuff. Like stock up on full restores once you get to that. Like personally, what I do, I got to the point where I just stock up on full restores and just don't buy any regular potions. If you have a bunch of full restores, then that's all you need. You only need to heal your Pokemon once and it's fully healed with all status effects and everything. I barely use status effects stuff at all, like full heal and all that. So, I mean, you can do it differently to me. You know, you don't have to do what I say. Please don't do anything that I say, Jesus. But, yeah. And then the other tip is just, pay attention to your Pokemon types. You don't want to just get a bunch of Pokemon just for the sake of getting them and then leveling them all up, and all of a sudden you get to the Pokemon league like, oh, all my Pokemon are not effective at all against any of their Pokemon. I'm kind of screwed. And trust me, I got to that point quite a lot when I was playing Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. Like, I got to the point where I was like, oh, I'm getting my ass whooped by the Pokemon League. I'm getting my ass whooped by the Elite Four. What am I doing wrong? And then I looked up a guy like, oh yeah, you want these certain Pokemon? And I'm like, are you kidding me? But yeah, just pay attention to all the types. One thing I just thought of, speaking of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. So, in a lot of games, you fight the Pokemon League and then that's it. But then later games, they like a thing like, oh, you beat the Pokemon League. Now you can do all this and this, and you can get something extra for fully completing the Pokédex. So, I'm on my way to do that now in Brilliant Diamond. And I just did like a side quest, quote unquote, called the Unknown side quest, where you go into this cave. And there's a guy who calls himself the Ruin Maniac, and he's basically like, hey, I challenge you to a race. If you can catch all of these Pokemon by the time I dig through this and make a tunnel, then something happens. So basically you're set on this quest to catch all these Pokemon called Unknown, and the reason you have to catch a whole bunch of them is that there are 28 versions of it, but you go to a certain place where you catch 26, because each of them are shaped like a different letter of the alphabet, and basically you catch all the letters, you go back to where this guy is, and he's already dug a tunnel and everything, and he's like, wow, that was really hard, and he basically opens up another room where you can catch 2 more unknowns, one that looks like an exclamation point, and one that looks like a question mark. And what do you get for catching all these Pokemon, and, getting every single one of them?
Jack shit!
Yeah, you get nothing for it. You don't talk to him, and he's still like, wow, I can't believe I dug through that. Like, I really caught all these Pokemon, filled up all kinds of space in my box for nothing. So that really frustrated me. But Brilliant Diamond is still fun nonetheless, and it's the best way to play Pokemon Diamond. I never played the original Pokemon Diamond, but honestly, it's a really good way to play Pokemon Diamond. But yeah, I think Pokemon is just a thing to experience for yourself. I'm not going to go into full detail about, well, at least not yet, about why you should play Pokemon, or at least watch Pokemon. I've been talking about the games a lot recently. I should save some for another episode, actually. Anyways, yeah, just experience Pokemon for yourself. There's so many different ways to experience Pokemon. And I think with that being said, I'm going to call this an episode. Pokemon is a great series. Go check it out. If you guys want to give me suggestions on what to talk about for Pokemon, leave it in the link on my social medias, in the link tree, in the description. Also, in the description, there's a link to help support this podcast. If you like what I do, consider supporting this podcast today. It really helps me out. It lets me get the tools I need to be able to do this better for you guys, and I did give my cats some treats, when they're not being fuzzy little assholes. But click all around. Yeah, there's all kinds of links everywhere. Click everywhere. Check out Pokemon. It's great. With that being said, I'm going to end it here. I hope you guys have a lovely day, night, whatever you're listening to this. Make sure you drink plenty of water, stay hydrated, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Nerd out!
Nerd out! Nerd out! Nerd out!